Good morning, afternoon, evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. I'm sure you're wondering who the hell I am and how I ended up in your subscription box, and that's a valid question I intend to answer. It has indeed been a very long time since my last upload, over 2 years. It's been so long, in fact, that the channel art that I have, all of the social media links in there are dead. It's been so long that this pinned comment doesn't even make any sense anymore. It was some guy whose name was Soldier76, and now it's whatever this is. In case you're wondering still who I am, I'm that person that made those Overwatch experience videos, and if that doesn't ring a bell, then maybe the Dark Souls 3 video that I made does. And if neither of those ring a bell, I really have to wonder how the hell you got here. But anyway, this is a video that I had planned to make quite a while back, but never really got around to it as I wasn't really able to put in to words a lot of the things that I was thinking and feeling. And as time went on, it seemed to make less and less sense to make this video. As I said, I'm sure there's a lot of people who don't even remember subscribing to this channel in the first place. But for the few of you that do, I figured I might as well kind of give some closure as to why I stopped uploading on this channel and some other thoughts. The reason I wanted to make this video started when I was drinking with a friend at my apartment, and he mentioned that he admired my ability to just kind of drop the whole YouTube thing whenever I stopped having fun with it. I kind of shot him a weird look like, that's a really weird thing to say, but I kind of appreciate it, I guess. And it wasn't because it was brought up out of the blue. It was on topic with the conversation, but it was really only half the reason I stopped uploading, though, and the real reason feels extremely stupid in retrospect. The biggest reason was that I felt like I had pigeonholed myself, which doesn't really make a lot of sense considering I had been at the whole Overwatch thing for, I think, less than a year. But that was where the majority of the subscribers and the views came from, so I felt like if I transitioned away from Overwatch, I'd have this giant awkward space of subscribers who had no interest in anything else I was making, or I would get pelted with digital tomatoes in the comments section for not uploading Overwatch. Everyone says when you're doing the YouTube game, you should always do the things that you enjoy and the things that you have fun with, and that is true, but it is kind of a general statement, and there's a lot of situations in which it doesn't feel right to do that. I started out really enjoying Overwatch, like a lot, but as time went on, I didn't enjoy it for a lot of reasons, and honestly, it's really hard for me to recall a lot of those because it's been 2 years since I played. But the biggest one was that Blizzard's balance really sucked, but I'll get to that. Eventually, I really did just grow to not like the game and didn't have fun making content for it anymore. So what do you do in that situation when the audience that you've built is there for one thing that you don't want to do and pretty much actively hate? I really don't want to make it seem like I was some YouTube superstar. Like, I want to go ahead and get that out of the way. I have, or had, 15,000 subscribers, and that's quite a large number for me. I had never accrued any follower count above maybe 2,500 before now. And the more you'd pump out videos, the more subscribers you'd gain. So it was kind of like being a metal band and you're about to go to your biggest venue and you're thinking, I really fucking hate metal. What if we all just went on stage and played some fucking polka? People are going to get angry and they're probably going to leave and not be a fan of yours anymore. And then of course that brings up the fact that it sounds like I'm just doing this for an audience, for views and that kind of stuff, and that's not true either. I was making the videos because I was enjoying them. It's a lot easier to enjoy making these things when you have an audience that enjoys them as well. What is the good of being an entertainer if you have no one to entertain but yourself? But he was right. I did stop making the Overwatch content specifically because I didn't like Overwatch anymore. I wasn't having fun with it, and by the time I stopped playing, I actively hated the game. When I made the experience videos, they were half to tell a joke, but half to kind of vent a frustration that I had at the game. If you look at something like the Symmetra experience, around the time that video was made, Symmetra was a completely different character than what she is now, and she was absolutely useless. Everything she could do, someone else could do better. And this was annoying because this led to a lot of people playing her when they could be playing something more useful. So I made the video to just say, hey, Symmetra sure is useless, huh? But it was half because I was like, God, Symmetra's fucking useless. I wish they'd rework her or do something. You look at the Reaper video, it's a similar situation. Reaper comes in and flanks and kills 5 people, and all of his progress is completely undone by somebody who flies in and hits a button. Mercy's ult was fucking stupid. But eventually, as time went on, these exaggerations that I was trying to come up with for the things that frustrated me about the game just turned into more frustration than ideas. In 2016, I almost died at the beginning of the year because of an undetected chronic illness that I had. So I spent a good amount of time recovering from that. In that time, I didn't really have a lot to do. I didn't have a lot of friends in the area. A lot of them were online, so I just played a lot of Overwatch. So when I was frustrated at the game, I just kind of rolled with it because there really wasn't a lot else that I could do. It wasn't until I had recovered and moved out of my parents' house that I took a really extended break from it. And that's when the last video that I uploaded comes in. Eventually, I wanted to actually try again. I decided to try to stream the game on Twitch as an incentive to get back into it and try to recapture that creative spark that I had before. It was also so that I could relearn the game because it had been many months since I actually got into it and could look for those little things that kind of annoyed me. But when I played after the extended hiatus that I had, I noticed a lot of things were vastly different than how they were when I stopped playing. In fact, several of the videos that I have made don't even make any sense anymore because of all of the changes that Blizzard has done. On top of that, the game felt really unbalanced and not fun. Metas would end up developing that became insurmountable unless you were to respond with the same team composition. I'll preface this bit by saying that it isn't a unique problem to Overwatch, but the community was extremely toxic and no fun to be around. And after a month and a half of streaming almost every other day, I sat down and asked myself, is this really worth it? Am I getting anything out of this? And the answer to both of those questions was no. It was definitely at a point in which I was just getting more angry with the game than I was having fun with it. And I figured at that point, if I'm not getting any sort of creative inspiration out of it, it's time to just put it down. What I'm about to say is probably a little controversial, but I'm going to go ahead and say it anyway. And it's been 2 years since I played Overwatch, but I have zero interest of ever getting back into it. While it's been that long, I have no reason to believe that Blizzard has done anything significant to counteract a lot of the issues I had with the game. And even if they did, I still have no interest in playing it whatsoever. It sucks. Back when I still played, Blizzard would do this thing where the community would get a kind of consensus on something that would fix a hero or a map or something. And everybody would just be kind of like, yeah, that makes sense. And they would like look at that thread wherever it was posted, put the idea on like a whiteboard or something, and in the room with all the designers would say, okay, how can we rebalance this without doing this? It was almost like they wanted to say we're smarter than our own community because we decided to do this instead, and almost always it was a worse idea. I don't know if they're still doing that now, but I wouldn't be surprised. But anyway, I could go on about how much I don't like Overwatch, but in the interest of time and also because I don't want to spend this entire video being negative, I'll leave it at that. I really did have fun with the game for a very long time, but unfortunately Blizzard is an absolute garbage company full of idiots, and that just kind of ruined it for me. So there's your closure, in case you were ever wondering what happened to that series. As it stands, I have some ideas for videos that I want to do in the future. I don't really want to give away too much information on that. I kind of want to use this video as a way to gauge if there's any interest in this channel anymore, I guess. The reason being is because I don't really want to upload to this channel if it's just going to have 12,000 empty subscribers. If I'm going to start doing things more regularly, I want to do it organically. And so if this only gets like 100 views, I'll probably just continue to upload to my other channel, which will be in the description. If you stuck around to this point in the video, give yourself a pat on the back because I am amazed anybody would. But with all that said, I will go ahead and say if you wish to unsubscribe because I will no longer be making the type of content that you want to see, I 100% understand that, and I encourage you to do so. If you want to dislike the video because I talk shit about your favorite game, you're once again more than welcome to do so. Otherwise, I'd appreciate it if you stuck around for anything else I possibly come up with, maybe. But regardless, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and got some closure or whatever. And hopefully I'll see you next time.